Oh,
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 shall we get on with it, Rob? I don't mean
oh,
to be funny, but I got things to do, okay?
oh. Back
Oh,
off. Back
oh,
off. Oh,
oh,
oh.
Neil, the baby.
Baby. Oh.
Oh,
Greetings, EastEnders fans, and a happy new year to you. Welcome to Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast. This week, discussing the episodes broadcast between the 30th of December 2024 to the 2nd of January 2025. Hi, hello, how exciting. New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. I hope you had a better New Year's Eve than what I did. Hello, Ree, how are you this week? Happy New Year.
I'm Happy New Year, Rob. I'm grand, thank you. I've got two things to mention. One,
Yes,
I apologise that your calendar has not arrived yet, so
good.
our apologies on that one. It'll be with you next week. Number
So
two
that's,
that I want to
yes,
mention
yes.
is Rob is still not feeling well, everyone.
Can you
Sorry, I
believe
kind of
this?
stole your news there.
Yeah, thanks. It's fine. I'm still ill, would you believe? Still ill. This is day 10 as of time of recording. Day 10. It looks like this might be a flu that I've got. I
Flu.
sound less corpse-like, I think, than I did last week. Because
You
genuinely, I
sound
didn't.
better,
Yeah, but internally,
but
I
yeah.
I've been deaf in one ear for about a week. To the point, we get this right. Like music, you don't believe this, do you? But like, I was listening when I started watching EastEnders on New Year's Day. Like I was playing on my phone as the title started playing, and then I looked up because I thought they'd changed the music. What has happened is that I've been deaf in like either one or both of my ears for so long now that my hearing has become altered, and everything music-wise sounds a semitone higher,
Yeah.
which is a
Just
thing
to let you all
apparently.
know, Rob has got an appointment with the doctor
Yes,
tomorrow to check for his ears and his
yeah,
sanity. So
yeah.
no, it
It's
will
all
be
going.
something. It'll be
Honestly,
frequencies and vibrations
yeah.
or something, won't it?
Anything,
Something
anything could
sciencey.
happen. Anything could happen over this podcast now for the next hour.
Oh
I
dear.
wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Actually, that's a lie. I would wish this on my worst enemy because he's my worst enemy and he's an
Who
arsehole.
is your worst
Anyone,
enemy?
never you mind. But trust
Tell
me,
me. Tell
so I'll
me in
tell
a
you off
bit.
camera. I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah.
But trust me, I do wish this on my worst enemy. And anybody who says that they don't wish this on their worst enemy is lying. Don't try and tell me that you're the good guy. They're your worst enemy for a reason. You want them to suffer. There you go. Right. So we'll try and get on. I'll try and stay alive throughout the entire podcast. What a week it's been, eh? This has been a pretty spectacular new year.
Very. Do you know
It's
what,
been
Rob?
busy.
I'm going to say something controversial, and I don't
Oh
think I'm alone
God.
in this.
Right, yeah,
No,
go
it's
on.
not that controversial. I feel like New Year's Day was better than Christmas Day.
I have seen this. I've seen this on, and
And
that's
I
fair
feel like
enough.
they should have done it the other way around, perhaps, but obviously it
Maybe.
wouldn't have maybe had the same effect.
No.
But I do feel like it was a stronger episode than Christmas
That's
Day,
fair enough. You should have to
in
say
my
that.
opinion. In my
No, you
opinion.
don't have to say that. I think they both
Yeah,
had I think they both had their strengths.
yeah,
But
definitely. Not
I think
saying it
New
was bad Christmas
No,
Day, but
New Year's Day was, I think, was more of a spectacle, wasn't it? It was a bit more stunty.
yes.
It was a bit
Yeah,
more. It was all on location.
yeah.
That location, by the way, is cursed for weddings. So would you recognise the location for the wedding?
Was it the same as Ronnie and
Mm,
Jack's?
yeah,
Ah, I did wonder
yeah,
that because there were a few references I noticed as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Phil and Stella got married there as well.
Ah, interesting.
Cursed,
Did not know that.
cursed.
Did not
That
know that.
place,
Can I say one other thing by the way though
of
about New Year's
course.
Day? 10 p.m. was far too late. I was actually fuming.
You're in
Right, I
bed.
was in bed. I was in
Yeah,
bed.
yeah.
Right, tried my best so like I can't actually stay up this late to watch it. So then as soon as I woke up, I had to try and stick it on to watch because I didn't want any spoilers to, spoil it
This is
for
it.
me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a bit ironic in a way. I feel like they should have just aired it at 8 p.m. on the day and not done it on iPlayer. I don't know. Does anyone do you agree with this? Did anybody else have this issue? Do I just go to bed too early? Is 10
Yes,
p.m. a
I.
reasonable
I
time?
mean, I'd say that. I'd say you're literally living your life like an old woman these days, Ree.
I
Bed by
don't
10.
think I'm alone in it though, because like it's New Year's Day, people are going back to work the next day, you know?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah. No, no, fully
let me know
fair.
if you
I mean,
agree.
10 o'clock was late to
Yeah.
be airing it, but I thought it was worth the wait, to be honest with you. And it was a really strong episode, and we'll get to discussing it later on in the podcast. We've got a few storylines to get to first. Sad story potentially, I think, coming with Nigel. We'll discuss
Hmm.
that in a moment. And then we've got a few other little love triangles building, which I believe may be pushing us towards the choice for the anniversary. So much to discuss in the first Albert Square After Dark of the year. Right then, let's start discussing Nigel. I think we got a very sad hint of what's to come with Nige this week, didn't you? Well, I say
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
Yeah, you get it now, did you?
Shut up, Rob. Stop outing
Sorry,
me.
sorry. So I reckon we are probably heading towards a bit of a dementia slash Alzheimer's thing with Nige.
Yeah.
And if you look at Nige's scenes so far within that context, this first scene with Yolandi, when he said that he came out to Walford for memories, has a slightly new connotation
Ah,
towards it now, doesn't it? That's quite
yeah,
sad.
yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, is that
Bless him.
bless him. But then, mind you, you don't know, do you, what they're thinking? If
Mm,
obviously we are merely speculating that this is what it is, but it does look like it.
yeah,
I'm just thinking, what does his brain think of the text messages and happening? Because he's said to Phil that he's split up with his
yeah.
wife, but yet she's
Whereas
texting him.
where it
So is he
sounds like he's kind
confused
of
by
run
it,
away from
or
home, doesn't it?
yeah? So why would he then say that they've split? Unless he's thinking of a different partner.
Unless he's thinking of Debbie,
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
he's
wondering.
getting
He's
confused. I
getting
mean,
them
obviously
mixed
Debbie.
up. Yeah,
I know Debbie died, but
yeah,
it's
but
as
yeah,
I think it gets to a stage where you just sort of get so
yeah,
confused with
it
everything.
does.
I mean, they often say about people in that situation that actually your kind of memory from years and years back is like proper clarity compared to like 5 seconds ago.
Well,
So
my granddad had dementia,
yeah,
and I was talking to him so clearly, but he thought he were in his 20s again and at work. So in that regard, he was really coherent and
yeah,
everything he was saying, and he was telling me we were on his way. This is while we were in hospital. Oh, I'm on my break. I've only got 10 minutes. I'm on my break at work. I've just got time to read newspaper. Very clear in that moment, but obviously they're just in
yeah,
the wrong frame of time. So it'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
interesting if that's why Nigel's gone back to Walford, because in his brain he's in that part of his life again or something,
yeah.
perhaps, which is why he's gone back.
Yeah, I wonder if we might
Yeah,
see scenes of him trying to, going to work, trying to
go
open up
to Doc's house or
the video
something.
shop or something. He
Yeah,
used to own a
yeah,
video shop, didn't he?
yeah, yeah.
I think it's going to be moments like that. I wonder if it's Julie, who I think I had a look. We briefly, very briefly met Julie towards the time of Nigel's
Okay,
exit. So I don't know if we might
right.
see her again. I don't know if they'll
Mm-hmm.
get the same actress back for that. The way that they're doing these things at the
Mm.
moment, I'm sure Clenna's even if this woman has quit acting, Clenna's like, come back to Walford, come on,
Come
come on,
on,
gotta do this
yeah.
properly. So we shall see on that front.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Nige is very much sort of trying to get Phil to sort of integrate with the Mitchells a little bit more. But every time that he does that, what tends to happen is that Sharon and Teddy are sort of there together and kissing and sort of all proud of themselves, and it just sort of pushes Phil away. It's quite sad to watch
I
this,
mean,
really.
it's fair enough though as well if you don't want to be
Yeah,
around that. And to be honest with you, it's all fair enough if you don't want to be watching his missus with a new
yeah,
partner who's your second cousin.
yeah.
Like,
It's
I
not
think
that
that's kind of
difficult,
fair
really.
enough. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Sharon and Nigel had quite a nice scene either this week or last week where they were talking about like how Sharon said that
yeah,
it's, she feels like she's been a bad friend to Phil, like he's been pushing her away and he's been letting her. And it's sort of like, well, yeah, because surely, Sharon, you're not so dumb that you can't see exactly what's going through Phil's head every time that you kiss Teddy in front of him.
yeah. So maybe stop that a bit, and he might want to actually
Maybe.
join you a
But
bit
then,
more. Or
yeah,
I
but I
know,
mean,
I
at the
know.
same time, you can also say, well, why should I? Because this is my new relationship
Yeah,
and he's going to have to
no,
get
I
over
get
that.
it.
Him
Yeah, yeah.
sulking isn't exactly a new thing, is it? Like,
No, true.
Surly Phil isn't a new facet of his character in any way. So,
Perhaps it should be somebody other than Sharon who's trying to get him out of shit, or maybe just like meet up with him when you're not with Teddy. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. But then, are you giving them Phil the wrong impression of that when you do that?
Yeah, true. You could see that being interpreted the wrong way, perhaps. Yes, giving him false hope.
Yeah, and then when you've got Nicola stirring the pot in the background, it's sort of a bit
Well,
awkward, really, isn't it? So
hmm
I can't wait to see where the Nicola, Sharon, Teddy, Phil dynamic. Nicola tried to kiss Teddy again this week on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, didn't she? Oh, that was so awkward. I
So
actually felt
cringe,
quite, yeah, I
so
felt
cringe.
embarrassed for her.
I
It was
mean,
quite a desperate move from somebody like her, wasn't
it
it?
was, but it was just that I'm assuming this is a follow-on from last week. Clearly, she's taken more from that than Teddy took from it, or rather,
Yeah.
Teddy's giving himself had a word with himself since then, and sort
Oh,
of
I
pushed her
forgot
away at
about
that
that
moment.
actually.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I did forget about that. Yeah, okay, that makes it. Yeah. Oh, it's still awkward though.
Also, Nicola in charge of the club. I love works.
Yes, it suits her. Yeah, yeah, I'm here for that. Yeah,
I think
she was
Harry's
good at doing
Barn
the
is a
countdown and
ridiculous name for it, but other than
stupid
that,
name, very stupid name for it. She should have just
but
kept it as Peggy's, shouldn't she? I
I
feel
mean,
like she should have just.
she's got no
I
association with
know, I
it, has
know,
she?
I know, but I guess they needed a bit of a rebrand after that crush as well. To be
I know
fair,
you sort
like
of wipe all the memories away from that.
we're new owners.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
different people.
what I will say is the New Year's Eve at the club, especially, looked amazing, didn't it? Like
Yes.
they EastEnders more than any of the other soaps, and it doesn't take much at the moment to be sort of looking in the papers to see what's going on financially with the other soaps at the moment. And I assume EastEnders is part of that at the moment. You know, nobody knows the BBC's financial issues
Yeah.
better than the papers. It seems, but EastEnders has become very very good at making their crowd scenes look spectacular. Like the atmosphere for New Year's Eve, I thought in the club looked amazing, didn't it? Like loads of
They got
extras.
I feel like during COVID times, EastEnders were always better at making scenes look
Always, yeah, yeah,
crowded
yeah,
than
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
soaps.
Yeah,
So
they've
maybe they've
always put a
learned
little
from
bit more
that
effort into
and
that sort of thing. They always have,
yeah,
haven't they? And it pays
yeah.
off, I think. I think it
The
pays
little
dividends.
details.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. It did feel like a very crowded, but not overcrowded to the point of being a
of being a
crush
crush. No, because
event.
Nicola is
Yes.
very much following the rules on that front, as
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
I'm sure that she's
Yes,
very health and safety
yes, very
minded.
health and
Yes.
safety conscious is our Nick.
Yes, conscious,
Um,
that's the word.
So yeah, I mean, with Phil, I wonder is he gonna sort of go down a little bit more before Nigel's story kind of picks him up again? I feel like that's what's going to happen. He'll realize what's
Mm.
going on with Nigel, and it'll give him a sort of purpose
A
to sort of
purpose, yeah,
yeah.
totally, yeah. It'll be interesting because I don't know. I'm just confused about where Nigel thinks he is, and like I said, like what he
Mm.
thinks has actually happened with his wife, who clearly
Well, I
hasn't
don't
left
know.
him. Or
I feel like we're quite early on in his
yeah,
diagnosis. So, I mean, we know that Nigel's stint is quite is has been said it's a long stint that he's back for.
yeah,
So,
mhm,
this story could potentially go on till Christmas
yeah,
2025, So we don't know. I mean, an Alzheimer's storyline, they can take their time with it. It tends to be something that they can show all the facets of. It's going to be devastating. Paul Bradley will be amazing at it because I have to say, every scene with Nigel has been an absolute triumph for me. I've been loving the Phil and Nigel scenes.
yeah,
And
same.
like again, it's the humanity of Phil. It's making Phil out to be a human being again, rather than the
Phil
sort of
helping him shave his beard,
oh, so sweet. They're so
and then be
cute
like,
together.
"Don't tell anyone I help you shave your beard, though, Nige."
Yeah, it's so cute. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. It's so
yeah, it
adorable.
was
They're like
very
a
sweet.
really, really gritty, down rough Bert and Ernie, aren't they? They're so cute. It's
Yeah,
so sweet. It's
yeah,
so sweet. And this is the thing with Nigel and Phil. Like they're always been sort of like really different personalities. Like
yeah,
Nigel was always like this sort of really affable, polite, really nice
yeah.
person. Then best friends with the Mitchell brothers. Mitchell brothers, by the way, we have some news to share later. We'll discuss that later on the podcast. Very exciting. Which I
Excited.
assume will be an additional element to both of these stories, Phil's loneliness and
Yeah.
whatever it's going to turn out is going on with Nigel. But I think we got a pretty solid hint this week of where that
Oh,
story might be going. I know it's going to be sad.
it is that though, isn't it? Right? It can't be
I
anything
can't think
else.
anything else
Because
it could be. Yeah,
I mean, it would. To be fair, it would be an easy slip of the tongue to call Phil Grant if you know both
they
brothers
are
and have
practically
been
the
close
same.
to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it wouldn't
But
be that. Yeah,
unfortunately,
but
in
I
the world
think
of
it
soap, you
is.
don't have
Yeah,
slips of the tongue. They don't tend to
no,
exist, do they?
no, it's for a reason, isn't
You
it?
only
Oh,
slip your
poor
tongue if it
Nige.
means something. So yeah, it is
Bless
sad.
him.
So we shall see how that plays out. Right then, ladies and gents, let's talk about number one of the love triangles. Right, first of all, let's discuss Ruby, Stacey, and Martin. Not a huge amount going on with them this week, but enough for us to kind of say Martin, I think, is trying to get his feet back under the table with Ruby. He's liking this whole little family setup he's
Is
got going
he?
on now. I kind of think he
Is
is.
he?
Do you
Yeah,
not
I
think he
think
is?
he is. It's just been quite the switch from when he said, oh, I'm just going to try and fool her, and now it's like he's
Oh yeah, he's changed
actually
his tune.
fallen for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me's like, is it genuine? But I do think it is because of how he's then been with Stacey about it. So
Yeah.
then I were like, because obviously Stacey were annoyed and he were like, well, Stacey were in the middle of all the Eve stuff, Eve being in hospital, and he's like, you need to apologise to Ruby. And I'm like, Martin, there's a time and a place, mate. Like, I don't think she needs to apologise to anyone right now.
I mean, Stacey had a massive go at Ruby for merely existing this week, essentially.
Fully
But
fair, thought it was fully
do you think it
deserved
was
and fully
fully
fair.
fair? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sort of with you
yeah.
on that. I'm sort of like, because I don't really know what Ruby thought she'd achieved by turning up like that. Because
I
she
just
kind of
looked
just
at Stacey and
pulled
just called her out
pulled her out
so
straight away on
like
it.
bluntly about it, like told yourself up to come here and use it as a
Yeah,
pull-in, time.
yeah.
Like,
But
yeah,
she had.
right.
Did she misread that?
Totally.
I don't think she did.
No,
I think it's
no.
exactly what she did. And then
Yeah.
she had the absolute gall and tenacity to sit there all upset and be like, I shouldn't have come. I shouldn't have come, and then just totters off in tears. It's like, no, too right, you shouldn't have come.
Oh,
What did
hang
you
on.
come for?
Is
Yeah.
my mascara still okay?
Yeah, but just Marty, just check my bum as I'm bleeding. Thanks, sorry. Like ridiculous behaviour, absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Martin, obviously, like I say, he's changed his tune fully, and he's on Team Ruby now. And he said that Stacey was well out of order when she has a best friend slash wife like dying in hospital, and
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what, because at first I was like, oh, this is all put on from Martin. Like, he's just trying to trick Ruby into custody or something.
yeah.
But then when he had that go at Stacey and we're like, oh, you need to apologise, I was like, oh, no, he's like, he wouldn't have said that in that moment if it weren't genuine, I don't
I
think.
don't think so. No, I think he's
No, I
like,
think
well,
he is fully
yeah,
Team
they've had a
Ruby,
couple of
innit?
kisses now and everything, haven't they?
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
is playing her, and thereby us in the moment, then he's playing a
Because
blinder.
he could be trying to play Stacey as well so that she's buying it. You never know. Maybe he's like trying to play both Stacey and Ruby so that Stacey feels like he's genuinely going for Ruby to make it more believable.
I mean,
I don't think Martin's got that in him though.
this is what I mean. It's very
As I'm
convoluted for
saying that,
Martin,
I'm
isn't
like,
it?
nah, that's not Martin.
I mean, it's just so. I mean, and what about Ruby? Do you think there was anything more sinister going on there than her literally just trying to impress Martin? I don't feel, or
No,
she
no, I
wasn't
feel
trying to
like she was
get
just
Stacey
like,
to have a go at her there. It wasn't one of those sort of honey trap moments where it's just like, this is going to
no,
really wind
no, I
Stacey up.
don't
I'm going
think
to
it
make
would.
her. I'm
No,
going
no,
to
I
make
don't
her
think
look
it
really
would.
stupid.
No, I don't think it was that extreme. I think she was just thinking, oh, look, I'm just so involved in everything in Martin's life.
Yeah,
We're a team now, so I'm going to
yeah,
come along. If
yeah,
Martin's there, then obviously I'm going to be there.
yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yeah,
Because she
I
wouldn't
don't
have turned
think
up
she
if
thought,
Martin hadn't
no,
been there. If Martin had turned around
no,
to her and say, "Can you go to the hospital, please? I'm a bit busy selling
yeah.
fruit and veg on the market." But Stacey would
Or
love
I've
it if
got to
you went
stay
in my
looking after the
place.
kids. Can
Yeah,
you go and check on Stacey?
yeah.
No,
She
she
would have
wouldn't.
done
She
that. Would have
literally
done
went
that.
because yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
She just went because of Martin. But not to, I agree. I don't think she went to wind Stacey up. I think she was just thinking, oh, Martin's there. I need to come along.
mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By the end of the week, Stacey has come around the corridor and they're knocking
Oh,
each other's faces off. It's quite sad, wasn't it? Like poor Stacey. Like
yeah.
starting is like relationship goals in many ways. Like they're just sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Considering some of the relationships that Stacey's had in her life, like Max, who she was sleeping with while she was going out with his son, less sweet than anything that's ever gone on between Stacey and Martin. Stacey and
Mm-hmm.
Martin from the beginning have been quite a sweet sort of
Yeah.
couple to sort of want to be. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
adorable when they work. And the only problem with Stacey and Martin is that they don't allow themselves to work sometimes. I think
Yeah.
if there's something to be, if there's a blockage to be found, they will scramble around till they find it in order to
Yeah.
stop themselves just being happy together. And Ruby
Yes.
is the current blockage that Martin is choosing to use at this particular moment.
Honestly, Ruby. It would have all been fine if you'd have not come, but then again, they have got
Kid,
Roman together.
kid. So how do you see this playing out?
I still can't decide, right? The only thing I keep thinking is Lacey Turner is quite clearly pregnant and leaving, right, for maternity
Yes,
leave. So how is she going to be written out? Because she's got to leave for an extended period. And I just
yes,
think she's going to end up they're going to write it in that she gets like really jealous of Ruby or something, or she starts getting in between Ruby and Martin, which Ruby doesn't like, so Ruby's going to get Stacey sent to prison for
yeah,
something like that. And it's all obviously going to happen on the 40th. That's
yeah.
where I'm seeing it going.
She's next month, by the way, Ree. Can you believe that? The 40th is next month.
Oh, wow.
I know, weeks
Yeah.
away, mere weeks.
Yeah.
Exciting. Can't wait.
Very.
What? Oh, there's so much to come. And it's like, it feels like, yes, they've got stuff ready to go for it that we know is coming. But at the
Mm.
same time, it also feels like we have no idea in many ways how it's all going to fit together. And there'll be so many elements. Like, I think everything that we know about the 40th on its own isn't anything, it's like nothing compared to what the whole sort of
Mm.
the whole thing will be. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I feel like this choice thing actually is going to be so far down, like the list of things that are actually happening on the 40th. Like
Yeah, I know what you're
it's
saying.
a nice little additional thing. Like they're not going to leave the viewers in charge of like the A storyline of the week, are they?
No,
So
no.
it's this is a nice little element, and it kind of feels like the Ruby Stacey Martin thing might be the
Yeah, I know what you
choice.
mean because you would think realistically, if they're making us choose, they can't write so many scripts ahead based on both options. So maybe it's going to be
Yeah,
that whoever's chosen is going to be written out. Like either way, they're all going to be written out for a time. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
In
I
which
don't
case,
know.
it could be Ruby Martin and Stacey
Yeah,
because then that could be another way of writing Stacey out. But again, I don't think they can do that because then Martin and Stacey can't both leave the kids. They're going to take the kids with them. Oh, I just wish I knew more about what were going to happen.
who knows? Let us know in the comment section how you think this is all going to play out. Other love triangle, which we feel could be a
Mm.
contender for the choice, is Harvey, Kathy, and Jean. Meanwhile, whilst all of this love triangleness is going on, before we get to the Harvey and Jean thing, we should mention that the Cindy investigation sort of is there in the background
Of
throughout the
course,
week.
yeah.
I really enjoyed at the start of the week that scene of Kathy walking through the square on her own, where the radio was talking about
Radio.
this woman that had been attacked in Walford. I thought that added a really nice sort of
Yeah.
realistic side to it. I enjoyed that. I thought that was good.
Yeah, it was. But can I just say that scene, perfect,
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, yeah.
But the only thing, this is where I don't like the block storytelling as much because I feel like we could
Okay.
have done with just a scene at least this week of Cindy in
Being,
hospital and some of the
yeah,
family
yeah,
there
yeah,
and Ian. Yeah. I
yeah,
feel like just one scene would have been nice, but to have
yeah.
literally the only
Just
scene that we
Kathy. Yeah,
got was Kathy listening to
yeah.
the radio and then speaking to DCI authors.
Oh,
I
by the
don't feel like
way,
that was quite enough. Yeah.
Arthur's and Kathy are slowly but surely becoming the new Phil and Marsden, which I'm quite enjoying. Quite like that. Like, of all the people that were going to have a police person rival, I didn't think it was going to be Kathy, but my God, it
No.
works. I love
Well,
it.
it's fair though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, oh, here we are again, getting involved in Christmas
yeah.
Day drama again, are
I
we,
just
Kathy?
loved. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I love that scene where he sat down next to her and was like, "So, another eventful Christmas Day, was it?" She's like,
Yeah.
"Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yes."
Hmm.
Um,
Same
you
place as
had
well.
you had a theory about Cindy's attacker, didn't you?
Well,
Battles down, everybody, for a
a
a
theory.
theory. Go on.
Right. I'm just going to start it off by saying I don't actually think it is this, but I do think
Oh,
it could
okay.
be a good twist
Okay,
if it
okay.
is this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a possible twist.
Okay.
So I saw online that somebody speculated that they thought it was Tommy thinking that he'd attacked Kat
Okay.
because of right. So Cindy was wearing a fur coat on Christmas Day, and they
Yes,
did
she
make a bit of
was.
a point about how Ian had bought her this fur coat,
Yeah.
and I did notice it myself because I always see Cindy in that camel coat, which is
Hmm.
what she wore in the flashback.
Yeah.
Anywho, so the theory I saw was Tommy's hit Kat, thinking it was it. Tommy thought it was hitting Kat, but he's actually hit Cindy, which
Hmm.
then got me thinking. But Kat's got dark hair, so surely you'd notice. So who else is blonde and wears a fur coat? Enter Sharon. Was it Nicola thinking that she was hitting Sharon? She just saw from behind a lady in a fur coat with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Was it Nicola? Was it a mistaken identity?
Mistaken identity. Yeah. Could be. Could be.
Could be. Probably not, but it is, it could be a little
Put it
twist on
out
it.
there. Let's put it out
Putting it
there.
out there.
Putting it
I'm
out
putting it on
there.
recording, okay? Because there's
Riffing.
so many times I've said things not on recording that have
Absolutely right.
come.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Let's get
So,
evidence. Evidence. This is the
evidence.
difference between Arthur's and you. You're getting evidence recorded, which is why you would make a fabulous member of Walford Police.
CCTV, mate. CCTV.
This is essentially CCTV
That's
that
what
we've
I'm
got going on
saying. Do you
here.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I
Take a
mean?
lesson. Take a lesson, Walford
Could learn a
Police.
few things, Arthurs. Anyway.
So that's all.
Anywho.
Anywho, we'll find out next month who attacked Cindy, but
Yeah.
mistaken
Mm.
identity, it's a possibility.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, obviously Kathy is sort of getting interviewed and sort of because the police have listened to the recording of Cindy's confession, and they've basically come to the conclusion, right? Well, that that recording would have upset a few people, wouldn't it? That'll put the cat amongst the pigeons. Yes.
Especially
So
you, Kathy. You'd be a bit
yeah,
upset by that, wouldn't you,
especially
Kathy?
you, Kathy. And so Harvey decides to jump in, basically, and say, "Oh no, she was with me. She's with me." And
Mm. Well,
this
you had the
kind of,
theory last week that
well,
he actually was with her,
yeah, yeah.
but I don't
But it
think he
seems that
was.
no, I don't think he was either. But it seems that what he's actually done is put himself in that position in a lie. Because Kathy was sort
Yeah.
of looking at him like, "Pardon, what's he talking about?" And then sort of
Mm.
realised what he was doing. But in doing that, it's raised Martin's suspicions, who has basically turned around to Kathy and goes, know what you like. Are you having an affair with him then? Is this what's occurring here? What's occurring? What's occurring?
Oh,
Ow.
what's Karen?
Ow. Ow. What's what's occurring here?
Sorry, me and Rob have been very distracted doing Nessa
Ow.
impressions in between.
Ow.
Oh, what's occurring on
What's
Kath?
occurring?
What's
Can I just say,
occurring?
anybody outside the UK has got a clue what we're talking about. Um,
No.
so And Kathy's sort of like, he said to Kathy, "You're having an affair. You're having an affair, aren't you? You're having an
Mhm.
affair." And Kathy's like, "No, it was just a kiss, just a kiss." Like, kind of forgetting that out of Auntie Kath and Jean, you feel like Martin. Who would Martin side in those two situations? It was an interesting sort of like
Well,
with
in
Jean or with Auntie
fairness,
Kath.
Auntie Kath for family loyalties, but
Yeah,
it's Auntie Kathy who'd be doing the wrong in this situation. So Jean,
yeah,
perhaps, because it's
yeah.
Jean who'd be getting
Jean's
Jean
going
who's
through it at the
essentially
moment.
getting cheated on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can you
morally,
imagine Stacey's reaction if she discovered that Martin knew about an affair and did nothing? That's not going to
oh
help,
well,
is
there you
it?
go. That's what's going to
That's
come
not
out
going to
then.
help.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's not definitely not. And maybe he's going to confide in Ruby. Then
Yeah,
Ruby
that
will
won't help
know,
either.
and Ruby might then. Oh.
Ow.
So
Yeah.
Martin's going to tell Ruby in
Yeah.
confidence.
Yes.
Ruby and Jean are going to end up having an argument, and then
Yeah.
Ruby's going to throw it in Jean's face
Hmm.
and be like, and then Jean's going to be like, "What? What are you talking about, Harvey? What's all this?" There we
Yeah.
go. That's what's
There you
going to
go.
happen in there.
There you go. We
Writes
shall
itself, to be
see. It
honest.
does. It does. We shall have to wait and see what occurs, what's
Yes.
occurring. But
We need to stop now.
stop. Stop. That's enough. It's enough. Stop it. Hmm. This is not Barry After Dark. This is Albert Square After Dark. We just
That's
behave
right.
ourselves. Yes. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yes.
But interesting that we've got yet another sort of love triangle going on. Does
Hmm.
suggest that maybe that's going to be maybe the choice.
There's a lot of love triangles, aren't there,
Well, I think this
actually?
is this is
Yeah.
the point, isn't it? This is the point. You've also
Yeah.
got this. You've also kind of got the Phil, Teddy, and Sharon triangle as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that might be
Ravi, Denise, and Jack.
Jack, yeah. So there's a few little options out there, aren't there, for where the choice might actually
Yeah.
come. So just have to
Hmm.
wait and see which one occurs.
Watch this space.
Watch this space indeed. Right, ladies and gents, we know what you're here for, and that will be the discussion of the Panesar Unwin wedding. So, biggest storyline of the week was the Panesar wedding. Wow. Right, some really, really, really strong stuff here. I mean, first of all, I want to throw props to Christopher McGill, who was this week's director. Some stunning stuff there, like some really cool shots, some really nice location work, some really nice stunt work, some really nice camera work. Loved all of that. I thought it looked fantastic. Everything about the wedding and everything
Yes.
leading up to it looked amazing, I thought.
Yeah, actually. Well, that's why it was very much a spectacle,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good. Sorry, when you mentioned his name, then I was like, oh yeah, he posted all those clues that
Yes, that was
actually,
him.
even now
Yes.
looking back, I don't see what any I wouldn't have guessed that it
What
would
was
have
the
been all
train
of that.
about? Like, is the thing that Nish grabbed to pull Suki down with him the train on that particular
No,
dress? Is that what it's
no,
called?
it's called something. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's part of the traditional garment in Sikhism, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Can't
it's not
remember the
it's
name
not
of it,
called a
but it was
train though.
it was actually quite not iconic is not the word, symbolic
Symbolic.
actually that
Yes.
he held that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
because I saw a comment on Facebook saying that that is actually part of the ritual between husband and wife, that he will
Yes.
grab that
Yes.
part and it sort of
Something. Yeah.
symbolizes them together, which in Nish's brain is
Yes.
totally what he'd do at that moment. So I thought that was actually
Hmm.
so clever the way that they did that. The nice
Yeah.
bring out.
I hope they explain that a bit more in depth because obviously I'm wondering if is Suki going to remember what happened, but obviously no one realized that he grabbed that except for the audience.
No, exactly. I think it was just for us, really. I feel like,
Mm.
Suki's okay. I think everyone's going to be fine, apart from Nish, who is deaded. But I feel like everybody involved in the situation is going to be physically okay. Mentally, that's a different matter altogether.
Well,
Because a lot's gone on with the Panesars
yes,
slash
yes.
Galatis slash Nandra Hearts. So,
Slash Unwin.
yes. So, yes. And how nice is that? Suki Panesar Unwin and Eve Panesar Unwin, like that. That was
Ah,
nice at
that's
the
nice. Yeah, I
credits.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So all of this obviously was built up because we knew that Nish was kind of taking ground around the corner from the square in a sort of dingy little flat,
Hmm.
and Nugget was the only person that knew where he was, and he's been
Oh,
using Nugget as
Nugget.
a puppet. I know, using Nugget as a puppet. And getting him like medication, drink, and food, and all that kind of thing.
It all makes sense now when we were fuming that Nugget didn't get involved when when Nish and Suki had that little run in a few weeks ago and it was
Yeah,
Avane who really
yeah,
laid
yeah,
into
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Me and you were wondering like why's Nugget not got involved? Like
Mm,
Nugget were just kind of there and didn't do anything. Now it kind of makes sense.
yes, it
Now it
does.
makes sense so that he could be the one who
Yeah,
Nish
Nuggets
turned to.
Nuggets' journey, I think, was interesting this week. He's getting so much crap online, right, Nuggets, about his role in
Oh,
everything like here. It's so unfair, especially when you consider Vinny's role, which I will come to in a moment. All right.
yeah, I know, yeah, right,
Out of the
right.
two of
On
them, I think,
brand, on brand.
right, I'm sorry, but the
Today.
second that Vinny was left alone with him, it was like, oh, they're
Like,
doomed.
well, we
They're
know
all
where this is
doomed.
going.
They
Yeah,
didn't even need to
exactly.
show it for us to
No.
see, for us to know
Yeah,
what was
that's
happening.
so
They didn't
true.
even need to show it.
We
They were
already
like,
know. We
all
already
we
know. Don't
knew,
worry
the
about it.
next time we see Vinny is either going to be unconscious or he's going to be holding his head going, ow, oh,
Yeah,
he hit
and
me.
Nisha's gone. Shock.
Yeah,
How did
shock horror.
Ravi not click to that? My
I
God,
know. Well,
Ravi, come
because
on.
Ravi kind of sensibly thought, I'm going to take a phone call, Vinny, all right? It's going to take me the grand total of about 4 minutes at the very longest. I take it I can leave you with this dying old man for 4 minutes
Four
and nothing
minutes,
will go
yeah.
wrong. And Vinny's like, yeah, that's
Wow.
fine. Yeah, God, take five. I don't care. It's all good. No, no, couldn't. I mean, I thought that Nish was tied up,
Yeah, I did want. No, he
but,
wasn't.
well, I
Why
doubt
didn't?
it would
Why
have made
wouldn't
much
you tie him
difference.
up?
I doubt it would have
Well,
made much
that's true.
difference.
No, that is
Could
true.
have been tied up with guards on either side, guns pointing at his head, and he still would have overpowered Vinny. You could leave Vinny in charge of a baby and and a bag of candy, and that baby would definitely lose its candy. It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, yeah, it is. Bless him, poor
To
Vinny.
take it all out on an influential young kid because he was a little bit involved, I don't think is
Well,
fair.
this is it. There are certainly two sides to the coin with the Nugget stuff because on one side, come on, like how Varney said to him, like, "Are you dumb? Come
Oh, I
on,
know.
like,
Yeah,
what were
yeah,
you
yeah.
thinking?" But on the other side of the coin, we know that Nish is a master manipulator,
Yeah,
and he did manipulate Nugget, bless him,
yeah, of
this
course he
week.
did.
Well, past couple of weeks. So yeah, I can see both sides, but yeah, come on, Nugget, come on,
Bless
man.
him. Bless him. I
I
mean, he's
know.
got a lot of guilt to be built to be playing with after the events of this week, including the fact that Suki basically nearly died. Nish nearly killed at
Mm.
least 3 people this week, which is insane, really, if you think about it, all in one night.
Yeah, yeah, three different women in one night.
Well, his first one was
Well,
Denise, who
yeah.
basically got an inkling that something the Nugget was up to something, followed him back to the basement flat,
Mhm.
and Nish had like this bottle that was exactly the same as the one that Denise hit him with. Like, has he just been keeping that just in
Was it
case
the
Denise?
exact same
I think it was
bottle?
pretty much the same. It wasn't the
Yeah,
same bottle, but it looked like
yeah,
the same
yeah,
like
yeah,
branding and everything. It's like, have you been keeping that just for this occasion?
clearly.
Clearly,
Oh, was it? Did it? So was it some champagne that he was going to poison or something?
maybe,
Was that the
maybe,
bottle and that's why he had it there? Maybe it was something like that. Yeah.
maybe. But either way, he knocks
But
Denise out with that. So
handy,
that's
yep.
that's that. He's got his revenge on Denise, who, like I say, we didn't really see sort of like how like Denise will be fine. Let's be real. Denise will be absolutely fine
Yeah.
because she's got Ravi and Jack to be dealing with in the
Yes.
coming weeks. So
Exactly.
Denise will be
Hmm.
fine. Um, so then Nish makes his way towards the wedding. By this point, um, Nugget has sort of confessed to Vinny and thereby Ravi what exactly has been going on, and this and Nish's taxi is stopped by Vinny standing in the centre of the road. I mean, I wouldn't be worried if I was Nish at that stage. Bless him. Do you know what I mean?
No, I bet you were
Like,
just like another obstacle.
another
Okay,
obstacle.
one last game before it
Yes.
all ends.
And then this ever
Yes.
so slightly more intimidating, Ravi opens the door next to him and goes, "Out! Come on, let's go."
Out. Yeah.
And like I said, and then obviously, like I say, he then overpowers Vinny because of course he does, and ends up at the actual hotel slash mansion house where he manages to poison because he's had this poison given to him by that fake doctor bloke, the one that looks
Mm.
like Grey.
Yes.
So he poisons Eve Champagne and because the glasses have all been sort of made
S&E
with
on
S
it,
and
so
E,
you know that it's
S&E.
going to definitely go
Yeah,
to Eve. Yeah.
yeah. Eve takes his poison, starts going like me if I've taken too many sambucas, just sort of lands on her back like. And then this big old battle ensues between Suki and Nish. It was quite exciting the way it all played out. I was sort of like, I don't
Yeah,
know how
very.
this ends. This is all very, very
Yeah.
exciting because they could have
Yeah.
had about like 5 different duffs in that last 10 minutes. I thought,
Yeah, definitely no. Yeah.
yeah,
I did think I thought somehow there's going to be a knife there and someone's going to get stabbed. That's where I was thinking. I did
yeah,
not see the balcony part coming at all.
no,
Oh, talking of sorry, rewind. We've
yes.
missed the like hen night where he was going to
Oh, he was
kill
going to
Eve,
stab.
weren't
Yeah,
he?
I mean,
Yeah, he
let's
was going
talk
to
about
stab her
that.
there
Yeah,
and then.
before we get to the fall, let's talk about that hen night. I loved
Yeah.
everything about that hen night. I thought it was
Yeah,
so
it's
cool,
brilliant.
so
Yes.
cool. New Year's
Yes.
Eve, and everybody is just like all the women are just getting pissed together, and they're sort of sharing stories together and playing Never Have I Ever. And
Yeah.
Priya's like trying to give them the best lesbian hen night there's ever been. Loved it,
Yeah.
loved it. It was
Yeah.
brilliant.
It was. Oh, we found out that Mers had a dalliance, didn't we?
Well, now, who do you think this is with?
Not Pat.
It sounds like it.
Is that what you thought? Because she like went to say it, didn't she? And it looked very much
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm fairly sure that it was Pat because Mo has spoken before about how her and Pat had a night on the baby sham and stuff occurred. So
oh, so it was Pat.
sounds like it was Pat.
Wow,
Yeah.
there
They've
you
actually
go. There
made
you
that
go.
canon, which is great, I think. I
Wow,
love that.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah,
Why not?
yeah. Why not?
But yeah, like you
But
say,
yeah, so he goes as a delivery driver, doesn't he? Reckoning that
right,
he's
I was
got a
gonna ask I
parcel
was
for
gonna ask you I
Eve.
was gonna ask you about this as a club owner. Have you ever had a Amazon driver turn up
Yeah,
to the club? Have you had this?
yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
Really?
but it's not for a customer though. Not for a
No, for you.
customer. No,
No.
yeah, for yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
for you.
Well, if you
Yeah,
get a
but not for
parcel
like
sent to no, not for a customer.
no.
No, not for a customer.
It's
No.
ridiculous.
But also, it's 20. I'm going to say it's 2024, Rob. It's
It
2025,
was
Rob. You
then.
know,
It was then. It
it
was
was
then.
then. If somebody, it wouldn't be. I don't know. The hen night was there. Like, it wouldn't have seemed that out of place if somebody had sent a gift to the like hotel, would it? You know what I mean? Because they know that they're going to be
Mhm.
there. And Eve did say, "Oh, my friend said she was sending something," but yeah, I would be like, "Really, to the club?" But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you would go, wouldn't you, out of curiosity? If somebody says there's
Oh
a
yeah,
parcel
totally.
here,
You wouldn't
but
necessarily
yeah,
think that your wife's psychopathic ex was standing
no,
with a knife in the corner.
no, no. But having said that, I can't imagine like any kind of domino security being like, right, I'm going to go out of my way to go and find that customer in here who's had an Amazon
Yeah.
parcel delivered to the front door.
Absolute
Yeah,
madness.
but hey, yeah,
So yeah, that was all really, really nice. Loved all of that. But it kind of implies that has got murder on his mind. He's sort of
yes, of
very much
course,
he's very much planning on taking somebody down with him. I feel because when he got his taxi to the wedding venue, he said, "No, I don't need a return trip." So Nish had it in his head, "I'm dying at that wedding, whatever
yeah.
happens."
Yeah,
It
he
was
knew. He
effectively a
knew. Yeah.
suicide mission what
And
he
I'm
was on.
taking you with
So
me, Suki.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the
Honestly.
way that Nish played that, I thought I can't knock him for the way that he manipulates everybody in that situation. Because ultimately
Yep.
he got his final wish that we've said
Yep.
all along that he wanted Suki to be by his side when he died. And he got that.
Yep.
And the way
Yeah.
that he made
Yeah.
that happen was quite spectacular, I thought.
Yes, very much so. Do you know what? Obviously, hate Nish, like, with
Of course.
everything that he does. But I did think, you know what, Nish, you can be proud of yourself. You had that one last moment, didn't you? You had that
Yeah.
one last moment of manipulating everyone and getting
Well, I
what you
mean,
wanted. There you go, pal.
for as far as final lines go for a villain, right? You're nothing. You're a waste of space. A bastard son from the day you were
Uh,
born. It's very Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've not watched Game of Thrones, but yeah, it sounds like it.
It's pretty Game of Thrones what he was coming out with there. And obviously this enrages Ravi, who's come to the balcony to sort of save the day. And
Yes.
no, he's basically kind of pushing Ravi to push him off the balcony because
Yeah.
they're standing on the edge, and he's gripped Suki's dress in his hand, ready
Hmm.
because he knows what's coming,
Yeah.
and basically infuriates Ravi into killing his second paternal figure in the space of 2
Oh
years.
yeah, of course. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
Killed his second dad, hadn't he? Well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, pretty
Oh
much.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's gonna mess with Ravi's head, isn't it?
But this is what I'm thinking. Will Suki remember what happened? Because right now nobody actually knows that Ravi pushed Nish, do they? No one actually knows.
Did they not? Because I was kind of like
No.
there was people sort of watching what was going on. Did they? And
Yeah.
Ravi was sort of standing there over the balcony, going, "Oh my god!" Once they'd fallen, so they know that Ravi
Yeah.
was up there. So for
Yeah,
them
but they
both to
don't know that he
fall,
actually pushed. They
no,
don't know that he actually pushed Nish because he went downstairs afterwards, weren't they? And everyone kept going, "What happened? What happened?"
yeah, that's
Everyone were
true.
asking him.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone actually knows, and he's
Okay,
not confessed it to anybody either. So it'd be interesting to see if he confesses it to Denise or Priya.
yeah. So it's very much going to rely on Suki's reaction when she sort of properly
Yes, and
comes
whether she
around, isn't it?
remembers. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I can't see because now the whole thing with it being we won, we're free,
Yeah.
we've won. So is she gonna want to take that away from Ravi? Like she's not gonna want Ravi to go to prison because of effectively helping her win in that regard, is
No,
she?
because he didn't push Nish knowing that Suki was going to go
No.
with him. He just, and I think Suki knows how manipulative Nish was. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
of
even think she'd
course.
hold it against Nugget for doing
No.
what he did. She'll know that he was manipulated. So no, hopefully that'll be the end of it and Ravi won't get into trouble. But it depends. There's going to be an investigation. Will it be DCI Arthurs on this one? I don't know if it was
He's very
Walford
busy.
Stomping
He's
Ground,
very,
this
very busy.
wedding reception. So it depends on whether Suki remembers and decides. I mean, maybe she'll remember and decide to lie and say no, he just
Mm.
decided to take us both. I don't
I
know.
reckon. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting sort of little thing for Ravi. I mean, I love it for Ravi because it gives him another layer. I think Ravi is a really layered
Yeah,
character. I love Ravi.
very. Yeah.
So this gives him an additional sort of layer to play with because that is going to mess his head up. The fact that he's killed both Ranveer and Nish.
And yeah,
And he's so
definitely.
easily triggered as well, isn't he? Like all it takes is for someone to imply that he's not the son that they wanted, and he's like, ah, like the Incredible Hulk, and kills people. It's great. Like
And you know what, Ravi? Don't listen to him. They're just jealous.
they
They're
are. They
just
haven't got your arms.
jealous.
They're furious.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm exactly the same. Um, so the other kind of side of that things I really want to discuss is Priya, who I thought was stunning this week. Right?
I told you she were a good mum. I've been
I love
telling you
her.
all this time. She's a
Love her.
great mum. Yeah.
Love her. The way that she stepped up, she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but let's get a bottle of bleach. And then everything will be fine.
And just go for it. We'll just
just
bleach
go for
everything
it.
down.
Get some marigolds. We'll get some bleach. Everything will be fine.
Is this the right thing to do though? Because both Priya and Ravi have decided let's cover up the fact that Nugget, has been
Yeah.
part of Nish hiding away. Would it not just be better to admit to it all? Doing
Yeah, I
nothing?
mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like the police aren't going to give Nugget that much shit for this.
This is what I mean. Even if they knew, if Nugget just confessed and like, I've been helping him, but explained the situation, like he's
Yeah.
been manipulating me, I felt really guilty, he was dying.
Yeah.
Would the police like? I don't understand the need to cover it up. For me,
I
I
think
feel
it-
like I
yeah,
think we need
I
to hold
mean-
his hands up. They're probably going to find your text messages on your phone anyway. So
Yeah, they will. And it depends on how Nugget now feels about the situation because he found, when they were cleaning the flat, he found that picture
yeah,
of him and Avani, which still kind of planted that seed of he loved me. He loved me. Like I was very important to him. So he's still got that in his head. Like, yes,
yeah.
he's aware of everything that he's done, but he's still very much under the idea that Nish completely loved him. And I think, did he? Like,
I think he did.
the way that
Yeah,
Nish
no,
can
I
love
think he
anybody.
did. Yeah,
So,
yeah. He still manipulated him,
yeah.
but I do
But that
think
is
he
love for Nish, isn't
genuinely
it?
loves his grandkids. Yeah, I do think he does, but that don't mean that he didn't still manipulate him and do wrong by them
Yeah.
just because he loved him. I mean, in his own way, he probably loved Ravi and Vinny, but
Yeah.
look what he did to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a lot for Nugget as well. He's a young guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like
of
he
course
can't
he is.
understand all the
No.
complexities of a man like Nish,
His
really,
family's
can
bloody
he?
complicated if you sit and think about
Yes,
it. And he's
to
got to
say
try
the
and process
least.
all of that, and he's
Poor
just
Nugget.
witnessed someone die by falling off a balcony.
That moment of Freddie like trying to shield him from seeing it
Yeah.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
were
yeah.
that were a nice little addition. It was very well directed,
It
actually.
was
All of that.
so
When you
well
think of all the
directed.
little
Oh,
details and
and that
stuff.
one shot on the episode afterwards where Ravi was sort of making his way through the hotel. That
Hmm.
all filmed in one shot.
In one shot.
I love one shots. We
Yes.
don't get enough of them
Yes.
because they're hard to set up. Like, if you're going to do a one shot properly, they need to look like this is a one shot and this is why we're doing it.
Yeah.
It needs to
Yeah.
look amazing, and that one really did. I
Yeah.
love a
It
one
did.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really well directed, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
well directed this week. It was lovely. Um, and I wonder now what happens with the Panesars and Nugget's role within it and Ravi's role within it and how, because Ivani's clearly still very pissed off with Nugget and I feel like she would drop him in it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, is she gonna? Who's she gonna drop him in it to, and why? Is
Yeah.
she gonna? Maybe. I mean, right.
Is she going to tell Suki maybe what
Well,
went
this
on?
is it. This is it. But like I say, I think Suki would just forgive Nugget anyway and go, "Well, you got manipulated by him. It's
Yeah.
fair enough. I'm not forced." Did we at any point think that Suki was actually going to die? Because I
No,
didn't.
no.
As soon as they were falling, I was like, Nish was going to break a fall, obviously.
I was more concerned about other people in the whole thing. I was worried that Nugget was going to die. I was worried that
Yeah.
Ravi was going to
Yeah.
die or
Fair.
Vinny was going to die or something
Yeah.
like that. As
Collateral
opposed,
damage.
I didn't think Denise was going to die for a second.
No.
And I
No.
certainly didn't think that either Suki or Eve was going to die.
No.
So
No.
I was kind
I
of more
did
worried
wonder.
by.
I did wonder about Eve. Actually, I must admit, at one point, I
Yeah,
did wonder if Eve were going to die. I will admit that. Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
think Suki was going to though.
no, but
Mm,
I think it was really well done. It was a really
yeah.
exciting set of episodes, really nicely put together, really nicely written. Great scripts by Kevin Rundle, marvelous, marvelous,
Hmm.
marvelous, and great performances. I thought everybody absolutely played a blinder, and I absolutely loved the way that Priya sort of basically like went into Mother Lioness mode and sort of was trying to protect Nugget and trying to keep
Yeah.
everything under control. That hopefully is going to build a bit more in the coming weeks as things start coming out and sort of the impact that that's having on the family. I'm excited about that.
Did you see the You saw the behind the scenes of New Year's
Yes. Yeah,
Day?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that the EastEnders have shown on Instagram and social media if you want to watch it.
Yep.
And there was a part where they were interviewing them and they were saying that it was the first solo scene that Priya has had with Ivani and Nugget that they could
Yeah. The big
record. Did you
old
see
long
that
one. Yeah,
bit?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time that they've had a
More,
scene with
please.
Priya
Yeah.
in the room on her own with the two children.
Yeah.
Also, there was a parallel to Nugget at the pool table to Ronnie and Roxy's wedding, which explains
Mm,
it. I wonder if it was the exact same pool table that they used from the
probably
wedding.
because the balcony that they fell from is the same one that Ronnie and Roxy were getting pissed on their
Yeah, there
well,
you
getting
go.
pissed on. Pissed,
So
yeah,
many,
pissed.
and then
Just after the
yeah,
balcony
yeah,
getting
yeah,
pissed.
getting drunk.
Ow, what's going on? Oh dear.
Oh no, not that.
So there we go.
Yes,
So gold stars this week, Ree.
this is a really hard one. Can
Hard,
you go
hard.
first? Do you go first? Because I
Okay,
think I know who you're giving it to.
I think I'm going to give mine to Priya.
I thought you were going to.
Mm,
So, to be controversial, and because it's going to be the last one that he'll ever get, and even though like he tried to kill 3 women that night,
sure.
I'm just going to give it to Nish.
No, I
Because,
mean,
it's the last one
whatever
he's
you
going to get, and
absolutely, and whatever your thoughts on Nish, I think Navin Chowdhury has created a
yes,
brilliant role in Nish.
yeah,
Fantastic villain. That's really
yeah,
sort of realistic. I think that you can imagine a
mm.
man being that horrifically controlling, and he's not a villain that you kind of didn't understand his motivations all the way through. You got what he was thinking,
Yeah, that's
twisted,
true. Yeah,
twisted, and as warped as his thinking always was. I think
hmm,
Nish was a really solid villain that
yes,
didn't actually have to be a serial killer to be a really despicable man.
that's so true. Yeah, he wasn't at all, was he? Attacked a few people along the way here and
Yeah,
there,
but
including his own kids, but
yeah, yeah,
YOLO, YOLO.
YOLO. Yeah, no, I'm gonna in a weird way, I'm gonna miss Nish because I'm sort of curious as
Yes,
to where the Panesars go from here, from this point onwards. Because
and
their
it's
their
interesting. Yeah.
story has been very much sort of directed by Nish in many ways.
Mhm.
So where do they go from here?
But then before Nish was here, we had a lot of Panesars without him. So there's definitely
Yeah,
ways that they
yeah.
can go. But it's interesting because just a few weeks ago we were fed up in Nish and we're like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
And then New Year's Day we're all fed up. We're like, come on, let's have that
yeah,
one last bit of Nish drama. I'm here for it.
yeah.
Yeah, loved New Year's Day.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
brill.
There we are then. Right, ladies and gents, we've got a little bit of news before we get to your comments.
So we have a return that's been announced.
Spoiler siren.
Alert.
Nina.
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 EastEnders have officially released this.
Yes.
So if you have missed it, I'm going to let you know what it is. Ross Kemp will be reprising his role as the legendary Grant Mitchell as EastEnders prepares to celebrate its 40th anniversary. Grant's complex familial relationships has seen him at the forefront of some of the show's most iconic and memorable storylines. And whilst the circumstances relating to his return currently remain under wraps, if his past stints are anything to go by, there is sure to be drama. Speaking on his return, Ross Kemp said, "I'm delighted to be returning to EastEnders as the show heads towards its 40th anniversary. EastEnders has always meant so much to me, so to return as the show is about to celebrate such a special anniversary is an absolute honour. Grant has never been far from the action, and let's just say this time is no different as he certainly comes back with a bang." Chris Clenshaw, executive producer, added, "We are absolutely thrilled to welcome Ross Kemp back to EastEnders as he reprises the legendary role of Grant Mitchell. Whilst I'm not currently revealing exactly what brings Grant back to Walford, I can say that his return will play a significant part in the show's 40th anniversary and will make up many moments of truly unmissable TV."
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh. So
exciting.
I think out of the potential returns, we kind of figured Grant was going to come back, especially with what's going on with Phil and Nigel. I
Yes,
think Grant almost felt like a missing piece within that unit, didn't he? So,
definitely. And if anyone's going to get him back, it's going to be Clem, isn't
of
it? Let's
course it
be
is.
real.
Of course
Let's
it
be
is.
real.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, go on.
Theory.
Mm,
Right. I don't know how Grant's going to come back and for why, unless it's going to be that Phil says, come back for Nige.
hmm.
I'm now wondering, isn't Nino, you already know it's a spoiler
Yeah, yeah.
section. If there's going to be a fire in the Queen Vic, is it somehow going to be Nigel that sets it alight somehow with his dementia or something?
Maybe, maybe.
Is he going to think that they're back in the Vic and he's going to go to cook something and it's just going to be something like that? I don't know. Just throwing that one out
Who
there.
knows? Maybe, maybe.
Interesting.
I mean, it's very exciting. Because as we go towards the anniversary, this is now what we're going to expect over the coming weeks, and I think we're going to get some surprises. I feel like this is the thing. I don't mind that they released that Grant was coming back because I feel like
No,
it's not a surprise necessarily because
no.
it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Grant's the one you bring back for the anniversary for these big moments, isn't it? So we
Yeah.
kind of figured Grant was a given. So it's nice to have it
Mhm.
confirmed. I'm excited to see him again. Don't know how long we're going to have him for. Probably the 40th anniversary week, I would imagine.
Yeah.
He'll come
Yeah.
back the week before the anniversary week
Hmm.
starts, and then we'll be gone by sort of by the end of the week.
Will
I'm
he?
intrigued to see how he's going to get on with the other Mitchells, the new Mitchells,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
sort of
Yeah, I
older
didn't think of
generation
that.
handing
I'm
it down to the newer
wondering,
ones.
will he be coming back alone? Will he be coming with Courtney, maybe? Will
Maybe,
Courtney be in
maybe,
tow? That'd be quite
maybe.
nice to see, wouldn't it? It's been
Twould,
quite a few
twould.
years.
And could he come back with Michelle? Is that a possibility?
Oh,
Is that a possibility? Oh, is that a
oh,
possibility? Is it a possibility? Do
yes,
you
it is a
think we could?
possibility, Rob. It is,
It
yes.
is. I sort of wonder, right? If we don't get Michelle back with as played by Susan Tully, I wonder if it could be possible to get Susan Tully to direct one of the episodes.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice,
Yes,
wouldn't
that
it?
would be lovely.
It
Yeah,
wouldn't
that'd
matter.
be a nice
It
way
would
of a
matter to
returning.
such a small subsection of the EastEnders community, but I don't care.
Yes.
It's such a niche
No,
thing for
same.
them to go, have that. There you go. You can have that.
Yeah.
That'd be niche, but
Yeah, maybe
I'd
though.
enjoy that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
same.
I feel
Mm.
like there's so much still to come that we have no idea about though. So with Grant returning is great news. All right, I'm excited.
Yes.
Let's see how that plays out. Interesting that they're not really revealing too much about his return.
And saying that he's a massive part of the 40th.
Mm,
So,
mm, we shall
interesting.
see. Commentary.
We've got a comment from Lana Bum who says, I think this is going to be a dementia storyline for Nigel, with Phil
Yeah.
possibly nursing him through it. Another Dot and Ethel.
Oh, another. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that comparison.
No, I didn't
Yes.
think of that either.
Yeah, because
Oh, that'd be sweet.
they're quite enjoying like sort of doing the parallels towards previous storylines as they go to the
Yes,
anniversary. It's a
very
very
much.
nostalgic anniversary in many ways.
Hmm.
So yeah, and the Dot and Ethel thing, old friends helping someone
Yeah,
to die. I can see that playing out quite easily. Yeah, good shout
yeah.
there, like yeah. Interesting. Renaissance Costume has said, really conflicted with Nugget. I've always said there's so much more story potential for him. It's hard not to feel for him when he's been raised around toxic masculinity. He genuinely could have just been feeling guilty in tonight's episode, but I do wonder if there's something more sinister brewing. He's the complete opposite
Oh,
to Ranveer, and Nish, and has been suffering from low self-esteem recently, which makes his psyche fascinating. I've
oh,
said I want a big old storyline for Nugget. All right, because I Nugget is my favourite of the
yes.
kids on the
Yeah,
square,
yeah.
right? And I think
This could be,
Jahane
yeah,
would knock any storyline that's given to him out of the park.
yeah, yes,
So
I agree. Is the guilt going to be eating him up from
yeah,
what he's done?
is this
And
the
yeah,
catalyst for something, Ree? Is this what we're
I
saying? Could be a
hope
catalyst.
so.
Could be a
Yeah,
catalyst.
definitely. And then
Yes.
he's going to end, and then it'll end up being Ravi. Oh, maybe Ravi's going to confess it to Nugget, and then he's going to live with that
Yeah.
guilt on top, and be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, so I made my dad push him. Oh no, but it's my dad's fault." Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
This
definitely.
is going to mess Nugget up. I think
Yes,
like the
definitely.
aftermath of
Hmm.
this. I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yes, very interesting.
Panesars are going to be one to
Mm.
watch moving forward and beyond the anniversary. I think it's about going to
Yes.
be sort of seeing what they are like without Nish, seeing how they interact with one another without Nish, and sort of is free. Like it's going to be interesting to sort of see because Nish has had them under lock and key for so long mentally. It's going to be interesting to sort of see is there going to be almost some sort of Stockholm syndrome going on there? Like, are they going to be start fighting amongst themselves even though Nish is now gone? How long is his
Very
influence going to
easily.
last
Yeah.
for? Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting. Get on.
Mm. And last comment from Joanne, who says, "For the 40th in the love triangle, is nobody else thinking that it could be Sharon, Phil, and Teddy?"
We did
Yeah.
say, yeah, it could be. It
Yeah,
could.
I think
So,
it could
who
be
would you vote for in that regard? That was the choice.
Sharon and Phil.
Yeah, I think again, this
Yeah.
is the situation they have here, where it's sort of like the outcome seems obvious in a number of these votes. Like the only one that I feel like could sort of go either way is Kathy, Harvey, and Jean.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I think all the
But
others.
Stacey, Martin, and Ruby, obviously, people are going to go for Stacey and Martin, right?
You'd think, but maybe they're going to change our mind in this next month or
They'll
so.
have a
Who
job.
knows?
They'll have a
I
job.
agree. I agree, but
Hey,
maybe
let's. So maybe the Kathy
stranger
and
things have
Harvey
happened.
and Jean thing is the way to go because I feel like
Mm.
that could be slightly more open ended because people love Kathy and people love Jean.
Yes. Yeah, true. It
So
could, yeah. And even I don't know who I'd vote in that particular scenario. So
I'm not
yeah, that one
100%
would
sure
be
who I'd go for. Yeah,
no,
that's.
that could be a good choice, definitely.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, let us know in the comment section or by communicating us. Let us know in the comment section by communicating in any of the following ways.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and all your favourite podcast sites. Drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Yes, indeed, you can. That's it for the first episode of the year. Thank you very much for listening. Ree has something else to say. Go on. Oh,
One
yes!
last thing.
This is how well I am. I've forgotten about this. Go on, Ree, carry on.
We are releasing our nominees
Yes.
for the Albert Square After Dark 2024 awards show
Yes,
so that you
this
can
is
all
back.
get voting. So if you're watching this or listening to this right now, you've got 1 week to vote.
Mhm.
We'll be sending the link on all of our social media outlets, so keep an eye out and get voting. And please only vote once
Yep, go
to
on.
make it fair. It's only our it's only our it is our amazing podcast awards show, but let's make it fair and make it a real vote.
The link will be in the show notes on YouTube as well as you are clicking on this. So give it a click and get voting, and we'll see about the results. Probably next week at some point, maybe the following week. But
Yes,
you've got
it'll
a
be a
week.
separate episode.
Yeah, you've
Yes,
got a week to
we've got a
vote. So get voting, please. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. I can only apologise for how ill I've sounded this week, the past 2 weeks.
you sound a lot better than last week, Rob. Don't worry about it.
I hope nobody's
You're
been too
human.
revolted by someone hacking away into a microphone. I can only apologise. Hopefully, by this time next week, I'll actually sound human. But let's see. Until then, ladies and gents, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.